Right, I'm going to check the brake pressures on my car. It's been standing now for 2 days, 48 hours. And see what pressures we've got. These are the brake pressure gauges, warning lights, on a Shadow 2. On a Shadow 1, approximately there, 2 red lights. It says brake on it. So let's put the ignition on, see what we've got. Bearing in mind it's been standing for 48 hours. Ignition on. That's good, no brake pressure warning lights, despite it standing. So let's press the brake now. So press the brake, see before, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 1 brake 2's come on now. 15, that's not bad at all, standing for 48 hours. Let's carry on going. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Right, it's not come on, so what I'm going to do is just put it onto start and it should check the brake pressure warning light's working. Let's just check. Switch it off. So there's no warning light on that one, so we've got to sort that out in a minute. This video shows you how to check the warning lights are working, especially important with the brake warning lights. I've pumped the brakes on this one to exhaust it 60 odd times and there's only one warning light working. You can check the bulb by turning the ignition on this Shadow 2 to start. And that checks the warning lights. There's other warning lights not working, which I'll sort out as well. But the most important one, brake pressure, because if you've got no warning light, you don't know if you've got no brakes. On a Shadow, when you press the oil level button, it will check all the warning lights. They should all illuminate. It also shows the oil, only shows the oil level on a Shadow 2, pressing that button. But on a Shadow 1, it should check all the warning lights are operational. It should press the button, it should light up the brake warning lights, the coolant warning lights, all the warning lights. So just press that, check your oil level, which is shown on the fuel gauge. Shadow 2 again, there. So I'm going to strip the dashboard down in a minute and put a new bulb in the warning light. Right, to remove the dashboard, or this part of the dashboard on a Shadow 2, you've got 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. You need to take those out and just, I've released this one already, so just pull it out gently. It might need a little bit more around this side. I'll take the key out, of course, senior moment. Take the key out and then just basically lift it up. Put it somewhere safe. See, you see how it's held in? Just a little bit of a lip. So it needs to come out at the top. It's come out at the top. Okay. Then you can see your warning light. 4 screws holding that in. You access all your warning lights then. Screws. I've removed the 4 screws now, and this will come forward and you can see where the bulbs are. Now it's this one that was not working, the brake pressure at the top. So we'll just pull that out. It's a capless bulb, I think it's a 501. I've got some of those somewhere. Try that and put a new one of that in there. So that's how you can get to the warning lights at the back. There's 3 screws to remove the dashboard and then 4 screws to remove the warning light cluster. I've changed the bulb, still not working. No good bulb. So I'm going to check the warning lights on the, just take the switch off for a second, put the window down. That's the switch there for the one that works, just there, like a remote switch. And this one that you can't get to very well, of course, is the one that's not working, and that's down here. You can't see it very well, but that's the connector for it. So pull that off. Typical Rolls-Royce, everything's awkward to get to. What I'm going to do now is earth that and see if we get a light come on.
To understand the next test, we need to leave David with the car out in the garage and go in and look at the theoretical wiring diagram. So you've seen the switch, which has one wire going to it, which senses the pressure in the hydraulic reservoirs. Now it has one connection because the remainder of the circuit is made by going through the frame of the engine and the chassis of the car. So the negative of the battery is connected by this black wire. So here are 2 brake pressure switches. So that's the symbol for the switch there. It shows that it's a normally closed switch. So when the pressure comes up, that switch will open. So if we're short of pressure, that switch will be closed. And so what happens is we have the positive side of the battery, which has come through the ignition switch and so forth, comes through these lines here, and here are the bulbs. And so if we take the switch out and connect this wire, which was on the pip on the top of the switch, to ground, to the frame of the engine, then that should make the light light. And that would prove that the wiring is all right and that it's the switch that's wrong. If doing that the light doesn't light, then it must be that there's something wrong with the wiring between here through the bulb all the way back. Now these diagrams look a little complicated. For example, here we've got all these lights have a diode, so that's a device that current can only flow one way through, and that's the bit of the circuit which makes the test. When you turn the ignition key on, they all go, and it's the side that are connected to the various switches that go through this diode. They go through this relay, warning lights test relay, and that is worked by the ignition key being turned when cranking the engine. So right, now we can go and look and go back to the car and see what was going on.
I've now put that switch up wire to earth, and we'll see if the warning light's working. If it does, it means that the switch, the warning light switch for the braking system is not working. So let's have a look. 1, 2, and it's working. So we've got a faulty warning light switch. So You can clean them. I've never done one yet, so there's going to be a first time for that, so I'll get the let you know how we go on with that. But that the warning system's working, just the switch actually monitoring the pressure is not working. Right, we're going to prepare to remove the brake pressure warning light switch. We have to do some safety precautions first. As you've just seen, I've got bricks under the wheels to prevent the car from rolling away. Parking brake fully applied. I know it works because I fixed it. It'll virtually lock the wheels. Let's just put this window up, stop any, that's it, stop any noise coming in. Make sure the vehicle's in park. Now I've switched the battery off on this because it's got an isolator, but I recommend you disconnect the battery as well. What you've got to do now is pump the brake 50 times, 60 times. Go away for a cup of tea, come back and pump the brake 50, 60 times again to ensure that there's absolutely no pressure in the system. If you don't, that brake pressure switch, I think it's about 900 psi in that it's operating the accumulators and the brakes. I think it's about 900 psi. That will come flying out, could hit you in the face, could kill you. It'll definitely come flying out, it could disappear anywhere with that pressure. It's also, brake fluid will go all over your car. We won't do a lot for the paint work on it. So depressurise, depressurise and then depressurise again. Make sure there's absolutely no pressure in the car. Make sure it's in park, parking brakes on, wheels are chocked, because you've got to be safe with these things. You can't have a car 2.5 tons rolling around and you're going to leave the car immobilised because you can't start it till you've actually repaired the switch or put a new switch in, because as soon as you start it, brake fluid will come weeing out of that open hole where the switch was, all over your car, all over your workshop floor, all over your drive, wherever you're doing it. So make sure your car's in the place you want it to be and you're not going to move it. Remove the key from the ignition so nobody can accidentally start it. And when you put it back together, the first thing to do before you put the key in, before you move anything, is put the battery on, or connect the isolator, whichever, and then start the car. But we'll go into that later. But make sure you don't touch that, because without the key in you can move that, and if you put the key in, to connect the battery, it can come out of park and clear off. The car can. 2.5 tons of car, unstoppable till it hits something. It could possibly be you, so be careful, be aware. These cars are not to be messed with. Make sure you think safety, safety, safety. Right, the story so far. I've taken the air pipe off, the heat one, the air pipe off. I've undone the bracket that holds this to the chassis. I've undone these clips here, so that we've got a bit of flexibility. That bottom pipe is a flexible one, so you're okay. I may have to undo the 2 pipes, the one there and the one there, because this is so tight, but now I can get it up and get spanners on it, hopefully. It's very, very tight. I think they must have put it together in a vise, put this together, then put the car together around it. It's bloody tight. So we'll see how we go to undo that. Right, this is the components of the switch stripped down. That's the top, the spring, the contact that goes on the bottom of the spring. That's where it contacts, and that's the bottom that goes into the checks the pressure. This part here has got the diaphragm in, and when you get the pressure, it lifts that. I'll just get it so you can see it. Lifts that up and down. Simple as that. And once the pressure's there, takes the contact. That contact goes through there. The electricity comes from the warning light, from there through there to there to there, and makes a contact. When there was dirt on the switch there, it couldn't contact. So now, clean the dirt off, get a bit more of a clean up obviously, and put it back together. That works, and that's the diaphragm that senses the pressure. You can see it go up, down, and that just lifts the contact free. So that takes the light out, that's the light on. Out, on. Okay, what I've done, it's all connected up. I checked the continuity with an ohm meter, save messing around. I put it back together. Let's go and have a look. It's all back. I've got to connect the these brake pipes up, but I want to just check there's no leaks. Obviously you've got to run it now, check there's no leaks, put the plug lead back on. So I'm going to start it up, run it, make sure these aren't going to hit the get eaten by the belts or the fans or anything. These pipes, make sure they're well out of the way. Plug leads back on, cables out the way. I'll move that round, cable tie it up probably so it doesn't get caught anywhere, because it's the that, make sure that doesn't get caught anywhere. So we'll start it up and see what happens. Right, here's the old gal going to start up. Give the old throttle a blip. Start it up. 2 brake pressure warning lights. Yes, we can check both out. That means we've got pressure. Just run it for a couple of minutes. Go and check there's no leaks. Run it for as long as you think is necessary, but make sure there's no leaks. You can hear the brake pumps pumping away. They'll soon stop. Soon stop, they will. Going down now. The old gal. Right. Right, we've got brake pressure. Wow. We know this car's pretty safe. Well, the brakes have all been done by me anyway, but it was the brake pressure that was the problem. You don't know till you've got the actual brake warning lights working. So we'll switch it off, switch it on again, and it start pumping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. One's come on. 40 pumps. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Is it coming on? 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 68 pumps. So we've got bloody good accumulator pressure there. I'd be quite happily take this down a 1 in 3 hill and stand in front of it and it'd stop. And you've got 63 brake pumps without the engine running. That's good. That's what you need to do. Check your brakes all work like this, and you've got safe brakes.
Please add your comments to this video in the comments section below here. If you've enjoyed it and found it useful, please subscribe to the channel. We hope to be adding new movies as time goes on. Thank you.